Look, welcome. This is our first courtside conversation. I love the tennis court so much for that. And we're calling it Found or Forgotten. And we've got an umpire tonight, Mr. Gordon Young, who's the co-founder and chief editor of The Drum. So please welcome our umpire. And he's going up in the umpire seat, and then I'll let Gordon do all the introductions. I'm channeling my inner Wimbledon here.
Well, tonight we're going to have a good, clean fight. It's going to be fine. Oh wait, is that the wrong sport? It's going to be good, it's going to be good, and it's going to be good, it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing, and I'm going to be a really loud umpire, even if I know bugger all about tennis. Well, Scotland wins, I'm going to be an expert. And if they lose, I might be quiet about that. But this is a really fascinating conversation we have today. It's the first time I've ever had a panel session on a tennis court, I have to say as well. But there's a good reason for that. Because it is competitive, but the enemy here in the room is not both teams. The real enemy is invisibility. And that gets to the heart of what Cannes is about. So these guys are going to be telling you how they're fighting the good cause in tackling invisibility. It's funny because I don't know how many people are SEO people. There's a few people. And you guys this year are the coolest people in Cannes. All these people on yachts, all that all these people. This is where it's happening. These are cool people, because the number one most important conversation in Cannes this year is discoverability. Is it not? Discoverability. In this era of agentic AI, in this era of the LLMs, in this era of greater company regulation, which is spoiling the fun for us, it's getting harder and harder for brands to cut through and basically get in front of customers. So that is what our tennis match is going to be about. We're going to have these linguists. We selected them on their ability to talk, thread, amazing arguments, how articulate they were. On that basis, they're going to come on and have this linguistic match. We're going to volley back and forth. They're going to use their backhands, their forehands. They're going to smash, linguistically speaking. At the end of it, you're going to be amazed and impressed. And you never know, we might actually decide who's won, who's the linguist, the SEO linguist of the year. That sounds good. But anyway, can I introduce our amazing teams? Have I gone on boxing again? How do they do this, Wimbledon? Yes, we have Mirjam Schuele from Karl Lagerfeld. Amazing. Adam Justis from Adobe. Look at that, fine figure of a man. Works out every day. Twice. He's going to do it, it's going to be good. And then we have, and this is basically team brand, in case you're wondering. Team brand. And then we have the search and execution side, and I think they believe they're going to do some real execution tonight. They're competitive. And on that team we have Mike King from iPullRank, sorry. What a dude! Yeah. A fine physical specimen, I have to say.
I get that a lot.
And we actually have the person who represents your favourite clothes shop. Oh. We have Ian Macfarlane for H&M. So the players are in place, but am I? No. No. This is probably going to be the first and only high spot. So actually now we have an opening round, would you believe? Yes, and I've done that bit, We're on to Rally 1. And Rally 1 is who really controls the brand story. And I'm thinking maybe I was going to let Mirjam and Adam serve here, if that's okay. So to get us underway, do you believe are brands expecting too much control?
Absolutely. I think especially in the age of AI, control is slipping away further in the traditional sense, because our websites used to be the source of truth for a brand. And now, as marketeers, we have to think of a much larger ecosystem to make sure that we get our brand story and control it in a way. Ouch!
Oh. No, just kidding, on you go.
Man, That was a slam dunk, no? Okay. Well, so we want to keep the control, but we need to learn a few new tools in order to keep the control as tight as we used to. Let's see what those guys have to say.
Yeah, now I know this is not competitive, but that sounds like BS to me. I think brands are demanding too much control. What do you think, boys? Sorry, I should put that more objectively because I'm an umpire. Great point, Mirjam. What do you think?
I think brands, yeah, you have control over a certain amount. I think maybe many marketers feel they have more control. Maybe they actually do. I mean, think about like word of mouth. How do you control what one person is saying to their friend, for example? We have influence. We have an area that we control as our and a drone. Control as like a safe environment for ourselves. But you can't control the general public, just like you can't fully control like this alien intelligence that's now in everybody's lives. So you can influence how it thinks. You can give it reasons to want to believe and act in a certain way. But control.
Yes. What was that? A cross court something, Adam? Do you think control has been redefined?
If I wasn't wholly motivated to defeat Ian, I would agree with him. In that I think it is a bit of an illusion that we had control. In fact, I feel like this moment might actually be an interesting opening to a new form of control. It's forcing us to think off of our website. It's forcing us to kind of venture out into the conversations that are happening about our brand that may feel a little bit more free range. But like I was talking to Mike earlier about early days, you've been thinking about this where you're already looking at those conversations that are happening, and is there an opportunity for the brand to influence, insert, for sure learn in a way that maybe we weren't forced to before about the context of conversation that's happening where our brand should be relevant. But now we're going to need to develop this new muscle. It might be less control, but it might actually lead us to a place where we're more connected to the things that truly influence the meaning of our brands.
I think that's gone to you, Mike. This has been quite a rally.
I'm going to have a contrarian take, because why not? You have as much control over this as you want if you're good at AI search. And what I mean by that is these inputs are all controllable. It's just, are you going to spend the money to control those inputs? Are you going to have the cross-functional team that can control those inputs? And the reality is that most brands won't. And so as a result of that, they will lose control.
Interesting. I think a good analogy might be the weather. Sometimes you've got to accept the weather and just go with the prevailing conditions. No? But was that not an amazing insight from an umpire? Sorry, of course.
Slightly more controllable than the weather,
Yeah.
I would throw in here from the brand side.
That's more controllable than this panel. Certainly.
Maybe that too.
Right, now, you guys, don't know if we're following the rules or not, but I'm going to give you a chance to serve, even though I think you probably won that serve. Did you win that serve? Are you following this? No? Okay, over to you. Okay.
It was clear. We aced that, I think.
I don't think we're... Yeah, totally.
Okay. Okay, I thought...
15-0.
Yes, always be positive.
Well, I can confirm it's 15 love. I just can't confirm who's got 15 and who's got love. But Mike, then over to you. I mean, obviously the talk of the world over the last few years has been AI. But despite all this talk, do brands really understand the opportunities it presents?
No. What else you got?
Well, over to you guys. Come pay attention, Adam. You dropped.
Oh, I
you've
was
missed.
there. I was like, that was a bold take by Mike. And then I was waiting for him to follow it up. He's not. Okay. So no, they don't. I agree.
Yeah.
They don't. And I think that I think we're in an interesting position now where we don't, but we really need to put ourselves in a position where we are willing to invest, because there's a tremendous opportunity for us as brands to realize that we need not only to invest to get out there in those conversations, but we have to be fully prepared to energy match the moment. Like, user behavior is changed. And we already have plenty of details that say that when when a referral comes, when traffic comes to you via AI search, via those conversations that are happening out on platforms, they're 4 times more likely to convert. They're more likely to spend and spend more. And this has actually truly kind of hit a tipping point like within the last year. We watched it, it was maybe less likely to convert, and then it was like hockey stick, boom, more likely to convert, more likely to spend, will spend more, but they're coming in hot to our brands. They're having conversations absent us, but are we ready to kind of energy match? Are we ready to step up and continue the conversation rather than just drop them on a sterile page and expect them to pick it up? We already know that 0 click is a reality, but when you get that 1 click, are we ready? Do we appreciate the value of it? I agree, Mike, 100%. No, we do not. Now I'm very interested in understand like what's behind your emphatic negative.
Yeah, well, that was literally and metaphorically a great point.
But I have to say, I think we do understand, but we haven't taken the action yet, and we haven't built the infrastructure yet to.
So here's kind of my point, because and let me not conflate what I'm going to say with the idea that SEO and AEO or GEO are the same, because they're not. But the things that you have to do as far as building cross-functional teams and have those people like, work together are the same things that needed to happen for SEO that brands weren't doing. And so now it's like, okay, it's AI, it's the shiny object, cool, blank check, like do whatever you want to make it happen, but brands don't really understand what they need to do. And to your point, like once the user does land on the site, they are typically more educated, but they also the brands don't understand that like these are branding channels more so than performance channels. So there's a lot of like base level education that needs to happen first for brands to really like dive into it. And we are still very early days. But I think on our side, like agency side, I'm not saying you guys don't understand, but I think agency side, we've been thinking about this stuff for like the last 3 years. And now brands are starting to be like, oh, okay, yeah, we want to appear in ChatGPT. What do we do? So I truly don't feel like they understand the game they're playing yet.
And I'd say it's not just they don't necessarily understand the opportunity, they maybe also don't understand the threats. But I think that depends on which kind of brand you are, right? So you're a challenger brand, you get the opportunity. This is a moment to steal market share. If you're a big brand, you're coasting on, your AI visibility is probably pretty good because how much of it is about offsite PR and your brand being well known, right? You're probably, like we are, we're doing reasonably well, actually off the back of just the brilliant work we're doing as a company already. But it's very easy to not see like the competition coming until it's past you. And I think that's like the threat to that is maybe something I don't think brands necessarily appreciate. And key part of that as well is many brands don't really understand how influential AI is in that customer journey because they don't have the data. Like if you're looking at analytics, you might have ChatGPT is like 1 or 2% of that traffic. Well, that's missing all the touch points that happened up until then. Seeing data 3 to 5 times X. So if it's 2%, is that 10% of your traffic right now? And it's growing. Is that going to be 20% next year? At what point is that going to be a massive problem for your brand? So I would say many brands aren't taking it seriously enough, but some brands are more insulated than others.
Well, my goodness, after a monosyllabic answer, that was a really scorching rally. Do you not agree? A scorching rally. But really, what the critical point here: who has control? Is it the brand or is it the Is it the brand or the other side, the search and execution side? Is it the brand or the execution side? Who has control of that brand story? Mike, I thought you made a really good point about the brand being embedded in the demand side. I thought we're having a lot of conversations about that as well. Would you like to maybe expand upon that to help us answer the core point of this rally?
No.
Good. Adam, help.
I think that was I think he was kidding. I think he's dying. I think he's dying to answer that. We're gonna call his bluff on that one.
Back to you, mate. Come
on. I don't actually understand your question. Give it to me.
Well, basically, this rally, who controls the brand story? Is it really in the execution search side, or is it really the brand side? The point you were making is,
yeah, no, it has to be both. It has to be an effort that's cross-channel. You got to get like influencers involved. You got to be thinking about, you know, how does the brand want to show up to begin with? And then you've got to do the research to figure out like, what are the touch points that are being pulled in? I think a lot of people are just like, well, my website says this thing. Why doesn't the model say that? The reality is that you need more surface area for what that brand is saying. And, you know, that mental model hasn't permeated enough brands yet. They're still like, well, do we need to be on Reddit? I mean, it depends. Like the queries change, or the sources change based on the queries, based on the model, based on the sources that they're using to pull the relevant content and so on. So it's the sort of thing where you need to do the research to figure out like, what are they pulling from? And then what does my brand need to do in order to be the top source in each of those spaces?
And it changes so hugely, right, for every single brand, every single sector, and even like...
We're playing doubles.
Okay, let's do it. No, I mean...
Sorry, hold that thought. Mirjam.
You're going like very much into the detail already, while I think on brand side, we need to first, I think we have identified the problem. We know that it's there. We know what the key levers are to manage it, but we're not managing it fully yet. And there is a lot of work to be done, setting up the right team structure, getting the right data, but mostly actually educating the team. Because what I noticed, that's right now the biggest blocker, is that people see the traffic declining. They see, I mean, they notice themselves how they're using the AI tools, but they're not really aware yet how in their day-to-day work they can influence that yet.
Now, Ian, the ball has been
passed back to me. Just to finish my point earlier, it really depends depending on your sector as well. So yeah, if you're like even for us H&M, right, we've got ladies wear, men's wear, kids homeware. Like the publications that influence the visibility for each of those are enormously different. Just like your PR strategy would be different for those different areas. In terms of who owns it, I think somebody has to be accountable for it, and that somebody probably should be an elevated SEO GEO role. I mean, like I said, SEO is not GEO, but it's SEO is the foundation of GEO. But you need somebody who is able to work with technical teams, with content teams, with PR teams, with influencers, and who can understand data, understand how we're performing, understand where we need to go as a business, and be able to pull and get all those different teams on board. Like the brainstorming, how the brand wants to be perceived, absolutely doesn't come from SEO, but the reality of, are we actually being able to reflect that, and how do we reflect that? I would say that is what SEO and GEO should be accountable for.
I'll just add an anecdote. I think all these points are great. At Adobe, we have an embarrassment of riches, thank you, Samrush, to approach this problem. But really, what my agile teammate here suggested is that our organization doesn't really know how to take advantage of it yet, even though we have a tremendous amount of focus. And I think, Mike, you hit the nail on the head. Is it a brand issue? You said it's a brand issue. It's not a search, or it's not a, regardless. You're saying like we have to think more expansively about this. This is a brand challenge. And our brand team, we're trying to wrap our heads around that, because we have a lot of really willing and interested parties at Adobe that believe that they should maybe lean in and solve this problem. A lot of that energy comes from the SEO team. They're like, Geo is the new SEO. Of course we're going to lean in, we're going to do this. Meanwhile, they lack sort of the understanding that some of our robust sort of customer journey teams have, where they're thinking about the brand experience across channels. So we're trying to figure this out from a standpoint of the words they use, just like the internal process, the team sharing, the goals, the shared goals. So I think as all of us, like the tools will mature, and some of them are already quite robust. But our ability to kind of recognize the moment and configure our teams in a way where we are focused on solving the right problem, I think may be the biggest challenge.
I think just to add there, building those new KPIs and those new objectives for the teams will be crucial, because otherwise they're just all gonna continue to stay in their own lane with their own very specific KPIs.
I want to add one more thing. I went to a dinner last night. It was like all people for AI search. It was a bunch of different agencies. I was the only SEO agency present. And this is, something I kind of warned our space for or about in over the last few months for people that keep saying it's just SEO. If we don't galvanize ourselves around like, here's what this is, here's how you do it, here we are the experts to make it happen, we are going to lose it to everyone else. And that's what's already happening here.
Well, that's good. I think that's the end of round one. I have to say, it's actually a lot better than I expected it to be. It's really good. I mean, Adam, I love the passion. Real passion there. I've got a...
Leaving it on the court.
Yeah. I got a cab, and I wasn't expecting to be this passionate when you're live. But anyway, so what do you reckon? Is that a draw so far? Or shall we want to vote? Who won the first rally?
We're clearly winning.
Yeah, was it Team Brand? Clapometer, do you think Team Brand won the first rally? Or the executioners?
Y'all just doing that because I said we're winning.
Yeah, I just think you've got more friends in the audience. Anyway, we're moving on to another very profound question now for Rally 2. What does found actually mean? The word found. We're discussing a lot. So is success still about rankings and clicks, or is it about recommendations and citations? And I think in fairness, we should start with Mike and Ian.
Yeah, I'll go. So yeah, it's obviously not just about rankings anymore. I mean, like 10 blue links, to be fair, hasn't been 10 blue links for a very, very long time. But there's definitely new things to think about in terms of actually what success looks like compared to, in the old days of Google, you're on page 1 or you're not. But now, like these AI platforms, they are giving unprompted editorial opinions about your brand. So there's no point in being really, really visible if ChatGPT is telling everyone to avoid you because your customer service sucks. So yeah, it's absolutely clearly not just about being there, it's about being recommended.
Who wants to take it on?
Yeah, I mean, definitely to jump on that. I think it puts other areas of the consumer experience more in the spotlight. Maybe some of them that we have been taking like nicely some shortcuts on in the past and we could get away with it. Now all of a sudden, like, yeah, that doesn't work anymore. Because you have to get that customer service right, you need to get your orders and your shipping right, your Trustpilot needs to be right, and they all of a sudden get like the strategic importance that they never had before. They should have had, but in reality, they didn't always have it.
I could put a small build on that before I pass the mic. The way I like to think about an AI platform, think of it a little bit like your own personal assistant. It's doing a lot of the research that you would have done. You would have gone and you'd have checked this guide, you'd have checked these reviews. Think of it as trying to do its best job to give you the best information possible. It's looking at everything it knows about your brand, which is, by the way, the entire internet. But I mean, let's be honest, Trustpilot, for some brands, it was really important, but how many consumers actually went and checked Trustpilot before they bought from you, right? If you're a small unknown brand, maybe you're a huge brand, they already know that you're somebody they should probably buy from. But many big brands, I won't name any, they might only have two letters in their name, have got really poor Trustpilot scores. Right? Being a better business so that you get recommended by AI, like that is not classic SEO, right? So geo is genuinely different, but we can't necessarily get away with being a poor brand. It's as Mike said, like it's a brand problem, it's a business problem.
We need both performance and brand KPIs for this. Like I said, these are mostly branding channels, and search, particularly SEO, has always undervalued its power from a brand perspective. Like if you showed up in a featured snippet when someone was like, I need basketball shoes for flat feet, and you're Nike, like someone could see the featured snippet and just go to the store. There's value in that. You don't have to get a click. This is just a more pronounced version of that. So I believe we should have always been tracking the amount of times where for a non-branded term, your brand showed up. And we should have been reporting on that because of the value that it has to the brand itself. So the visibility metrics I think are really important, but also at the same time, for the situations where we are getting performance, we need to see like how much referral traffic are we getting, how is that performing, and so on. And the last thing that I would add, because the whole thing is a cascade, right? Like it's, you know, you get the visibility and then some function of that will turn into users clicking through. But where you actually affect things is in the input metrics. So things like how well do you rank for the synthetic queries that these systems are generating? What are your passage relevance scores? What are your bot activity? Like those things are the things that you can adjust that then gives you the visibility, that then gives you the performance. So I think you need to stratify it to get a sense of the true performance of what it is that you're doing.
Can I take that from Mike? I really appreciate that comment. In fact, Adobe, we're running some ads around here. We've been kind of running a campaign called From Rankings to Relevance, and then we stopped and thought about it. And it's actually, relevance feels like round one. I like, you're kind of talking about like what we used to call vanity metrics back in the day, you know, impressions or whatever. I feel like we changed our ad copy from rankings to chosen, because I feel like visible is sort of like the first set in the match, should we say. But we're headed to a place where it's going to become table stakes. Like people will leverage the tools. We'll figure it out. Teams will realize that this is the only way to stay in the game. So really, like going from ranking to relevance to chosen, I think is really what happens when you start to kind of appreciate that it is brand and performance, and you're caring more about even just showing up. You're starting to care about how are we showing up with preference, how are we kind of leveraging all the tools.
Are we showing up accurately?
Yeah, are we showing up accurately?
Mostly not.
And in a truly compelling way, not just accurate, but in a way that moves people. Other research absolutely shows that people love brands, but it has to do with the economy, it has to do with so many things, but people are much more interested perhaps in things that in a bargain or something that kind of hits immediately. And so if you're not showing up, or if there's evidence that your brand equity may just be a veneer, then yeah, we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I think you probably already answered this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So how should CMOs now measure success? Maybe one for you, Mirjam. Okay.
So I think there's a couple of things. Do you mind if I take this one? Sorry.
Yeah.
So I mean, some of the the metrics we're able to get from platforms, so like SEMrush, for example, they're going to sound familiar. So share of voice for AI, visibility inside AI platforms. So those are kind of comparables, the way you looked at things like share of voice in the past. But like Mike mentioned, like accuracy of your brand, how well your brand is being represented inside an LLM is hugely important. If it can't get the basic facts about what your business does, what you sell, why are you even worrying about performance if it isn't your brand is not being represented in the way that you want it to be. And I mean, ChatGPT in particular, like it's famous for happily going to some random 7-year-old Reddit thread from Mr. Anonymous Turkey and presenting that as the latest, most up-to-date information about your brand. So start there. If it's your own content, go and fix it. I've seen somebody on LinkedIn post, I've just managed to find the owner of this 7-year-old Reddit comment and got it deleted. I'm now a GEO expert. Right.
They are, though.
They are. Yeah. And fair play to them. One thing I definitely wouldn't look at is rankings. So like these AI platforms, they're random models. They are statistical random models, they're probabilistic. Every single time you ask it, you'll get a slightly different answer. One answer on its own is not useful. Multiple answers taken together, averaged out, are useful. But rankings, data seems to show it fluctuates too much to be. So it's either are you there or you're not? What percentage of the time are you there? You have to think in probabilities. And then the last one, as I said, would be sentiment. There's no point in being really happy that you're being mentioned if actually the reasons are poor. So it's about being mentioned in the right way and making sure that the rest of the world is talking about you in the right way. And as you can see, like SEO and PR are starting to sound a lot more like each other.
Are there any commercial KPIs that you could attach to this?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at things like revenue contribution. So if you're looking at, say, your traffic, and you know that it's, say it's 2% of your total traffic, you can use, post-consumer surveys and get a sense of, ask somebody, where did you buy from us? And give them options like ChatGPT, and you'll be, I've seen numbers like 3 to 5 times difference. So you can get a sense and try from there to work out what the potential revenue contribution is, for example. Something we are looking at, I can't really talk about too much, is like MMM, RBA. If you have those statistical models, it doesn't necessarily matter that you haven't got the whole, if you can miss a whole load of data, because the data only needs to be directionally relevant. When the maths inside those models works, it's looking to explain the overall trend, so you can use that to try and unbake the cake. But there is no, like SEO is easy, right? Measuring, we had like search volumes, you had really kind of clear, nice short numbers. You could say, this is how much money I'm making. This is what the opportunity is. This is how much money I've now made. This is what my return on investment. Like, we have to unfortunately have a little bit more faith in metrics that are more directional than we're comfortable, maybe you've been comfortable with in the past.
Hopefully in the future. There
Well,
will be some metrics.
in a way, the future's now. In a way, the future's now. I mean, this is going to feel like you're being a homer here. But Adobe recently announcing Adobe Brand Visibility, you have to demand that your commercial metrics are included, because now the connection of the tools, like the prompt databases, the tools, the measurement can go all the way into full journey analytics. So you can see the long tail. You can see sort of how you invested here, what it resulted in, how did that then enter into your customer experience and go all the way to conversion. So yeah, demand it, because you can find it.
Brilliant. Another exceptionally strong rally, don't you agree? It's really good. And I wouldn't like to have the job of choosing the winner of that rally, even though I am an umpire. So again, for Team Brand, who thought they won?
Obviously.
And the executioners. Yeah, I think it's pretty. I'm afraid I think you might have got that this time. But that's really good. Now we're going into sort of Rally 3, which I'm told is a fast rally. Just a subtle hint there. And I'm not sure how this would work, but we're going to ask some sort of rapid fire questions. And it's basically, who owns AI visibility? So first of all, whose job is this? In terms of who owns AI visibility, that's a topic, according to my notes. The CMO. The CMO.
I would say the CMO with an elevated SEO geo role. Like, this is a much more complicated, broad channel that needs, somebody that can really think about, the wider business context, and it's not a technical role, right? You need technical people inside that team, but fundamentally your head of SEO geo needs to be accountable for delivering to it, and obviously your CMO needs to support them, but like nothing that an SEO or geo expert does or needs to have done can be done by themselves. We need a development team to go and fix something. We need a PR team to go and talk to people. We need people to kind of write content, publish content. So there's a racy, right? We can be accountable for it, but we need different teams to be accountable for delivering upon, whatever, the things we need from that particular team.
Yeah, this fast rally is not going very well, is it? But, excellent answer. But so maybe sort of.
I actually disagree.
Yeah.
I think it should be, like, based on the roles that actually exist, not creating a net new one, I think it should be a digital strategist.
Yeah, because that's the issue. I mean, and I suppose this is what we're trying to get up here at the moment. Is it fair to say that it's such a new field that nobody really owns it at the moment? Is that fair?
SEOs own it the most, but I think a digital strategist is more... would be a better person, because they're so audience driven. They understand multiple channels. They're typically the person that gets cross-functional teams to actually do something.
Yeah, that was interesting. You disagreeing with your own team member. Would you like to have a fight?
Yeah, I would say your classic head of SEO is not the right person to do this. So it might be your existing internal team member is not the right person to do this, but a role of somebody who can see the entire picture, who can communicate to your business what needs to be done, who can prioritize between those different areas. Whether that person is a digital strategist with a whole load of SEO and geo experience, or whether it's a new role. So it's not a technical role. Many heads of SEO today are probably not suited for it. But I think it needs to be somebody with a deep enough knowledge of that of that channel, but the ability to communicate, to senior stakeholders and to
Which
communicate across the
SEOs typically
business.
suck at doing.
Depends where you are.
I'm just saying, like, we don't have a good reputation.
We
Nah.
can't do our job without you guys, but you need us too.
You guys couldn't even get us links.
You have to serve the ball to the other side of the net. would you guys like to join in the conversation?
Oh, I think absolutely. I liked your answer, actually. I think a digital strategist has to be there. I think sadly what we find with digital strategists or a CDO or who have you is that a lot of times they're given a strategy and a goal, but they're rarely funded and given the team to go get everything done. I feel like the CMO has to assume responsibility for a brand challenge. I think it's an amazing opportunity for brands. And I'm trying to think of who owns all the parts that could actually say, okay, organization, we're going to spend here. We're going to make this, maybe you make it a role, a digital strategist that's assigned to this, that has the blessing and the funding from the CMO. I'm trying to think of the person who has the power to make this change. I think it's the CMO.
And I think the CEO somehow needs to at least back it, because it goes across so many areas of the business, and it requires, like, from the store, from the retail to everywhere. It needs to be very high on the strategic agenda.
Yeah, and if you're sort of had a clean sheet of paper, because the problem is a lot of these existing legacy businesses, then having to adapt. So you had a clean sheet of paper, and you could just start from scratch to build the perfect team to do this. Who would be on it?
So, do you want to take that one?
Engineering, content strategy, UX, PR, social media.
I would say all those teams, but it's like, we're not going to replace PR with SEO people or GEO people. We're not going to replace content writers. So you need to have somebody, and that's so, like I said, this role should be elevated inside the organization. Maybe they report even directly into the CMO, right? But they need a technical specialist on their role, on the team, who can talk to your development team. You need a content specialist who can talk to the copywriters and really understand, like, what expertise exists in the business and how to write good content. And an outreach specialist who understands that, like, what the job of PR is actually like, and then can connect that to what we're trying to do and educate and work with each other. So, like, we all need, like, it's a cross-functional collaboration role, but the skill sets don't exist in one person. At least, you couldn't staff a whole team of the people that could do this. You need to have somebody at the top and, like, specialists in each area.
Oh, and somebody from brand too.
Yeah. Well, brilliant. Let's go to a tie break. I think we get there. So again, this is a sort of a tie break. So basically, so I'm going to read some comments out, and you can either agree, challenge, or say it depends, and then maybe give us a quick line on why that's the case.
In SEO, the classic answer to every question is it depends.
Well, ChatGPT wrote this for me, so maybe that's where it's come from. So AI visibility is already a boardroom issue.
Boardroom issue? Yes, 100%. We had a client come in for a project because their board was like, you need to move the needle on this metric by February.
Agree?
I agree that it should be. It isn't always, but I absolutely agree that it should be.
So next statement, being recommended matters more than being clicked. Yeah, easy. Traditional SEO, Ian, still matters.
Yeah, I mean, it's the foundation of geo visibility, right? It's necessary, but it's not sufficient in its own right.
I agree.
Oh, I agree. That's not working very
So
well.
peaceful.
Yeah. Brands have more control than they think.
Yes. I already answered this.
I feel like brands have access to more control than they think.
It's whether they'll spend the money in the right areas and at the right level, and can work out where they need to spend it and where to invest. Yeah.
That's good. Well, that was very uncontroversial, that section, wasn't it?
We're settling into a friendly, I think.
You are, and but what we can maybe do is go to match point, shall we? Yeah. Or shall we do you want another update on who's winning?
Clearly, we are winning.
The executioners, are they winning so far, would you say? Is this, I think it's close, but the executioners, are they winning or not? So for the executioners, Team Brand!
Yeah, I just love the underdog.
So this will be end. Maybe we can all answer, opportunity to answer this one last question to try and find out. What's the one thing every marketing leader should do tomorrow morning to make sure their brand is found rather than forgotten?
I'm going to give you two things. One, actually measure where you are so you know where you need to get to. And two, if there's one simple, quick win, just spend a fuck ton of money more on PR. Sorry, camera. Like Gartner is recommending that PR budgets are going to roughly double next year. So yeah, if they're going to spend more money in one area, that's where I would focus.
Thank you.
Okay,
Well,
on my side,
yep,
it's 100% education first. Making sure that the people inside the organization understand what's happening and what are the tools that they have in order to manage.
Yeah, plus one on the tools.
Sorry.
Oops. My
Mike.
fault.
So I agree with what Ian said. And I think as part of that measurement, you need to know where you stand as far as like prompts, synthetic queries, all that sort of stuff. So you can get a sense of like what the action plan needs to be so you can increase the surface area that your brand has for these queries and get more visibility.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I think wake up, go into it with your head high. I mean, there's great tools already. There's great tools to do the step that Mike just mentioned. To like, and even it was your point too, to take the temperature, figure out where you stand. There's great tools, Adobe has them. And then you can kind of develop a plan, figure out where we are and what we need to do to move forward, be relevant, be chosen.
Yeah. Well, that's brilliant. Well, I think we're at the end of the match. Would you agree we're at the end of the match?
Feels like it.
So who do you think's won? For the executioners, let's hear it. For the executioners, let's hear it. And for Team Brand. It's quite hard. I think you guys just got it and no more. But I have to say, you all aced it. That was absolutely a fascinating discussion. So thanks so much for your
Thank you,
passion
Gordon.
and put so much thought into
All
it.
right.
It's really, really good. And that's actually.
Thank you.
Thanks to Rush for their support and putting us on too.
Thanks, Sam Rush.